Ha! Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today, I have another Power Rangers Lightning Collection review for you, and this is very exciting. We have our first ever full team pack of Lightning Collection figures, and it's none other than the Psycho Rangers from Power Rangers in Space and Lost Galaxy. And that is absolutely insane that I just said that sentence. Like, the Psycho Rangers were the first ever team pack released under Hasbro's Lightning Collection. Also, we have a team pack of Psycho Rangers. Like we have all the figures. That's insane. Obviously, if you've been collecting for a while, you know that Bandai America started to release some Psycho Ranger figures in their Legacy line. They released the Red Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Black Ranger, even the Silver Ranger, which isn't actually a Psycho Ranger, but they released that. A Green Ranger from the comics. But literally, Psycho Yellow and Psycho Pink, and arguably Psycho Pink is like the most important Psycho Ranger, I would say. And yet, we didn't get figures of them. Hasbro said, we're going to do it right. Here you go. So, I have the full team pack. This is an Amazon exclusive, so keep that in mind. If you want the full team of Psycho Rangers, it is an Amazon exclusive. Psycho Red has actually already released. I have Psycho Red. I've done a review because he was in a 2-pack with the Lost Galaxy Red Ranger. So you may already have Psycho Red. In fact, you may also have Psycho Blue, which was a GameStop exclusive, and I did buy this, and then I never got around to opening it, and then this team pack released, which is kind of redundant, but I'm still going to open this up and just compare, just to, like, you know, prove to you or show you if there are any differences between the individual release and the team pack release. I guess we'll find out. But if you want, like, some of these other Psycho Rangers, especially Yellow and Pink, you gotta buy the team pack. So I would suggest not buying the individual releases and just buy the team pack. But this is fantastic packaging right here. I just want to take a moment. Look at this artwork. So cool. Lightning Collection right there. Power Rangers in Space logo, since that is where they originated from, even though they obviously had a major role in Lost Galaxy as well, in that special event crossover leading to the ultimate death of a Power Ranger temporarily. Includes 5 figures and 18 accessories. Boom, there you go. On the back, you can see the full team. They all have that sort of lightning effect coming out of their hands, which is kind of neat. And they each have their own weapons, which is cool. However, I don't think this comes with the Savage Sword, which I feel like is a missed opportunity for Psycho Pink, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll find out, because that's just iconic, you know, but here we go. So, what I want to do for this, because this is kind of a new style package, I want to open this up, do a quick little unboxing, or at least show you what it looks like, and then we'll cut to the actual full review. So, oh, look at that. Inside the box, it actually has a little story right here of the Psycho Rangers if you're unfamiliar with them. So you can pause the video and read that if you would like. But that's kind of a nice touch right there. And then, of course, inside the package, you can see the Psycho Rangers right there, which that looks really cool. As you can see, looks like they each come with their signature weapon. You also get extra hands, looks like 2 per Ranger, so each is pre-installed with open hands, but it looks like these are probably fists, I'm assuming for the left hand, because then these are all lightning effects for the right hand, and so you get that. And it looks like there's also a couple of bonus effects. There's like this red effect piece, this yellow blast right there, both of which I believe this one came in the Lost Galaxy 2-pack, and then obviously you can see the yellow effect piece right there from Psycho Blue. So they kept those. There's no additional effects pieces, just those 2, unless you count the arrow here to go with Psycho Pink right there. So really cool. So without further ado, let's get these open and take a look. Check it out. Here are the Psycho Rangers out of the packaging, and gosh, it looks so cool. I just love the fact that we finally finally have a full team of Psycho Rangers. I know that was like a big sticking point against Bandai. Like, it was exciting when they first announced Psycho Rangers, and then like everybody wanted yellow and pink, and it was so frustrating. But finally, Hasbro's like, look, here it is. Here's the team. Boom, there you go. And this looks great. This is really, really cool. So we're going to get in detail here with all the figures, all the accessories. The accessories are actually a little bit more varied than I thought they were, to be completely honest. Like, you remember these little hands? There aren't just 5 of these. There's actually 3 different versions of these. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, because I know people, for collectors that have been around for a while, you may want to see a comparison with the Bandai Legacy versions. And I totally get that, and so that's what I want to do first. Although, real quick, the other note I want to do right before that is to note that here's the individual release of Psycho Blue, and here's the team pack version right here. It's essentially the exact same thing, except to say that I think the paint in the team pack version is slightly darker. I mean, it could just be mine that's a little different. I don't know. So maybe let me know in the comments what your experience is. But like, the one on the right seems a little bit darker blue, which I think probably makes more sense. I'd have to go back and watch the show exactly to see, the right shade of blue or whatever. But I feel like the team pack version's probably the better one. So if you're going to buy the team pack anyways, which you should to get, some of these other characters that don't have individual releases, just skip the individual releases altogether. So I did want to mention that. All right, so let's do some comparisons with the Bandai versions then real quick, because I think I did a comparison when I got Psycho Red already, but just to kind of go through the 3 that we have. On the left right here, this is the Bandai America Legacy version, and the one on the right is the Lightning Collection Hasbro version right here. So as you can see, the Bandai Legacy figures were taller. And I've said this before, I think the Lightning Collection ones really represent, they overall look more like actual people or the actual characters. Like here, it looks like he's super muscular, which is not like, he wasn't like that in the show. And also, like, the way that the joints are connected just seems more continuous, whereas this just seems kind of like it looks more like a toy versus a person, right? So that's one thing. But look, obviously you're also going to see a different shade of red, darker red here on the Psycho Ranger. The belt buckle's a little different, slightly in the thickness of the gold. There's red around it here, not red there. I don't know which one is more show accurate, if I'm being completely honest. But I like the look of the Lightning Collection one better overall. So I just kind of doing that quick little comparison there. So then let me, you know what? I'm going to keep knocking these guys over, so I'm just going to do it myself right now, just to get that out of the way. Here's the Lightning Collection Blue Ranger, and here is the Legacy Collection Blue Ranger. Again, height differences and all that, but the biggest difference here is this is like a light blue, right? This is very light blue in contrast there. So I definitely think the Lightning Collection one is much better. I feel like this is probably more accurate. I don't remember it being this light of a blue in the show. So that's kind of the real big difference there for the blue one. And then real quick, here's the weapon right here. And then here's the Hasbro one. Very similar, just, slightly different proportions. So, it's fine. There's that. And then lastly, we have Psycho Black right here. So here's the Lightning Collection one, and here's the Legacy version. This one's more similar just because it's black on black, and so it's like, it's all sort of just kind of blends in with the design of the Psycho Rangers, since the base color is black anyways, right? So not as big of a difference here with this guy, but I did want to point that out, at least. And as far as the actual weapon, so here's the one here. And here's the Hasbro one. It's basically the same height. Just again, you can kind of see the slight differences here. There, you kind of have this coil wrapping around here on the Hasbro one, a bit more detail, and then the bottom base is a bit more defined versus kind of just a blob at the bottom there. So yeah, the Hasbro one definitely looks nicer. So there's the Bandai one. All right, enough of Bandai. Let's focus on the new stuff, right? Let's focus on the Hasbro figures. Now, I'm going to look at the articulation with Psycho Blue here because I've already done Psycho Red in a previous review, although it's all the same. So articulation-wise, again, you know, you can rotate the head just like any of the figures. The arm does rotate around. This is a little bit rubbery, so it does bend in order to actually facilitate the arm movement. You do have a swivel right there. You do have rotation of the arm, double joint right there, and then the hand, of course, will move and up and down a little bit as well. This entire upper body piece rotates and moves all the way around. You do have a little bit of a joint right there, or not a joint, but movement right there. And then the other thing is the legs. So do move forward, move to the sides about that much, rotation there, double joint at the knee. The entire boot here does rotate, and then you have the same classic foot swivel that all the other Lightning Collection figures have. It's always a little bit tight at first, so I don't want to like break it or anything, but it will loosen, and some heat will certainly help there as well. So yeah, pretty much standard articulation. This whole piece right here is pretty solid. Like I said, it is a little bit of a rubbery material, but it like doesn't really wiggle that much. Like it's not like loose, but it will give a little wiggle room when you have to move the arm and stuff there. So pretty solid, I gotta say. And the nice thing is, the female Psycho Rangers, articulation-wise, are very similar, although some slight differences, which is common for the female figures. And so just to highlight that, again, you have the same, you know, head movement there, same movement there. The arm does rotate. This whole piece rotates as well, but you now have a single joint here at the arm instead of a double joint, and this entire arm piece rotates. Okay, so that's the difference there. Again, you do have this entire upper body that moves, as well as a little bit of abdomen crunch right there. The legs have good movement, rotation right there. Still the double joint knee, still the rotating boot, still the foot swivel. So pretty much everything else is the exact same for articulation, except it's really just the arm is slightly different, but it's consistent with other female Lightning Collection figures. So pretty solid overall. So articulation-wise, I mean, obviously the blue, black, and red are going to be the same. Yellow and pink are going to be the same there. So let's take a look at the actual just detail up close and paint, you know, just real quick. So starting with red, just to really get an idea of the paint and what it looks like. So again, here's Psycho Red. Okay. Pretty solid. Okay. Let's bring in Psycho Blue. Now, paint is going to be hit or miss on these figures. That's just a thing with Lightning Collection in general. So you can see there's an extra little bit of blue paint under there, which shouldn't be there. Whereas on my other version of it, it's a little bit better. Although this one does have a little missing paint slightly, a little dent or something right there. So it's hit or miss. That's not anything like... it's not anything I can predict. It's really just going to be whatever you end up finding when you get your package from Amazon, really, as far as how the paint is going to be. Okay. Here is Psycho Black. This one's a little bit harder to see just because, you know, like I said before, the black kind of blends in, but you can still see all the detail there on the helmet as well. And the black that they used up top is kind of a bit of a shinier black, so it does stand out a little bit more. Okay. And of course, the ones that we all wanted here, we have the female Psycho Rangers, Psycho Yellow. nice bright bold yellow here, which looks really good. Okay. And Psycho Pink. This figure, mine, has a little bit of a bobble. It's kind of loose, but that's just mine. I think it's just luck, you know, with these types of things. But still, overall, not too bad. Okay. So there you go. Pretty solid figures overall. Really, really nice. So let's get into the accessories, right? Because that's the other cool thing with this. So I mentioned before, obviously you get these effects pieces that we've seen before, so I'm not going to spend much time on these, so we'll put those to the side. But what I do want to show are the hands. So obviously they all come with the open style hands right there, so they can like hold their weapon in either hand. And here's the female version. So the female Psycho Ranger hands are slightly smaller, which is relevant because we have 5 fists right here, closed fists for the left hands. So if you want all of them to have closed fists for their left hands, you have that as well. But there's 3 of this size and then 2 of this size, which is slightly smaller. So obviously meant for the female Psycho Rangers. So when you're grabbing them, just if you really care, I mean, it probably wouldn't matter too much, but just for, the accurate purposes, just keep that in mind, okay? The other thing that I noticed is, obviously we've seen this before, right? This is the right hand, and it's got this sort of, lightning effects piece attached to it, which is kind of cool looking. I have my Psycho Blue and Psycho Red with it on right there. It looks pretty cool. It looks really menacing, and I kind of dig it. And so you get a couple of these, but what's interesting is there are 2 right here that are the exact same ones as the Psycho Red and Blue that I just showed you. And what I mean by that is you got to pay attention to the finger layout right here. So it's kind of like all 5 fingers spread apart, right? Sort of in that view, and just the shape of the lightning and stuff, like this is the exact same, and these are the ones that are found with Psycho Red and Psycho Blue, okay? But then there's 2 other ones that are slightly different. And at first glance, I almost didn't catch this until I looked real close. At first glance, you're like, wait, but that's exactly the same, right? Like as the other 2 that we just looked at. So let me take this one, and then here's one that I just showed you. So first of all, look at the lightning. You'll see that here is, how do I explain it? There's like one little piece off to the side, and there's an opening on the left right there, right? Now look here. It's almost like flipped, sort of, but like there's not one thing. Now there's like 2 on the side, and there's an opening there and there, right? Like look at the lightning shape. It's different, right? It's different. But also, if you look real close at the hand, on the right side, it's very much like this, okay? And on the left side, instead of this, it's like this, right? It's kind of like curled in a little bit. So look at that more closely. You see the difference? So we have 2 of each of these styles, okay? So 2 of each of these styles. So that's kind of interesting. And then if that's not enough, you have this other one right here that has 2 fingers kind of joined in together, almost like he's doing some like Star Trek like pose or something. Like, that's kind of interesting. I don't know, like, I guess they just did it to be different, which is kind of cool. Now when looking at the lightning, it's not the exact same as the first style, and it's not the exact same as the other style, so it's really just completely unique. So I would have thought you would, just like the fist, that you would have 3 of one kind and 2 of the other, but they actually did 2, 2, and 1. So you get this one other unique one. I don't think it really matters as to which is which. In fact, all of the hands roughly seem to be the same size. I could maybe think that The two that are like the fully open hands, the new styles, are maybe for the female Rangers. They may look slightly smaller, but it's really hard to tell. So really, you can just mix and match and come up with whichever ones you want to have here. But I did want to point that out, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on it, but I'm really trying to let you know all the little details and differences with all the accessories. So that is important to note. So kind of cool. You know, at first glance I thought I was, oh, 5 lightning pieces, great. But no, it's actually, 3 different types out of those 5. Now, we of course have the actual weapons of the Psycho Rangers right here. So, here is Psycho Red. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because, again, I did this one in the video with the Lost Galaxy Red. And it looks pretty solid. I like the little effect right here of the paint kind of fading. Looks pretty nice. Psycho Blue. And then, of course, right here. I'll be honest to say that I don't remember a lot of these weapons from the show. I don't know if all of them are even from the show. Did they even show all of these? I honestly don't remember. But either way, I like that they all have their own unique weapons, so I guess that's cool. I still would have wished that they included the Savage Sword in here, but maybe they're going to re-release Psycho Pink with a Lost Galaxy Pink or something and kind of recreate that whole situation. I don't know. It's possible. But there's the Black Ranger one. Pretty good size for this one as well. Here's the Yellow Rangers. So because now we're getting into the territory of there was no Bandai version, this is kind of my first time seeing some of these weapons. Am I even holding this right? No, I'm not. There we go. I was like, how am I holding this? It's a little blaster thing right there, which is kind of interesting. And you can even sort of see the little symbol right there that's like on their belt buckle on the side there. And then we have the bow. So, kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of like a Ranger Slayer style paint scheme with the pink and black, but still unique there. And there's that symbol that's on their belts. Okay. There's a little space right there to attach things as well. And of course you do have this arrow. I'll be honest, I suck at posing the bow and arrow style weapons with the Rangers. I can't ever figure out how to properly do it, but it's there. You have the option. So there you go. And that's really what it comes down to. Those are the Psycho Rangers and all of the accessories. There's a lot of great stuff included in this set right here. So I definitely recommend it. I think, this is such an iconic set of Power Rangers villains. The figures look great, and it's cool that they released this as the first team pack, just, for the fans out there, the longtime fans, that remember these guys. So that is really, really neat. And that's going to wrap things up for this Psycho Ranger Team Pack review. That is the Amazon exclusive set. So definitely check that out. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. But also, we're not done with the Psycho Rangers just yet. They actually released this figure that I've had for a while and I never got around to opening it. And that is Psycho Green Ranger, which is from the comics. So we do have a Bandai version of this as well, but Hasbro also released a Lightning Collection version. So I will be reviewing this also, and then you can see what he looks like with the rest of the team together, which is very, very exciting. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. More Lightning Collection reviews on the way, including SPD Omega Ranger, Lord Draken, a bunch of other really, really cool stuff. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you later.